Well, my office might be a mess, but my plan is ready to go for Q1. Welcome back to Heart Breathings. Today, we are going to take a look at how Q4 went. I plan in 90-day segments according to a system called the HB90 method, and I'm going to show you an inside look at how it went for me in Q4, as well as what I'm doing differently and setting up for my goals in Q1 of 2021. We're a little bit late getting started, but if you are sitting here like, I still haven't had time to set up my goals and get everything ready to really conquer this year, don't feel like you're behind. 2020 was a hard year to move past. Maybe you needed a little extra rest, but we are more than halfway through the month of January, and it is time to set those goals and start working towards your dreams. So let's do it together. I'm going to do a very quick and dirty version of how I separate goals from projects and tasks and set up my board. If you are interested in learning more about this, definitely head down to the description box where I have a link to my Kanban board playlist here on YouTube where I have a ton more videos about this. I also have a planner over on Etsy that takes you through this entire process, and I have a course called the HB90 Bootcamp that will come up again in March that you might be interested in if this style of planning appeals to you. But the basic idea is this: I set an outcome goal every single quarter. I actually will set 3 outcome goals. And I think of these goals like umbrellas, and everything that I want to accomplish over the course of 90 days needs to fit under this umbrella. So the first one for me is almost always something like this: to publish and promote both new and backlist titles in order to make X amount of dollars per month, or in order to increase my following on social media or whatever. But I think about, rather than what I'm going to do in the quarter, I think about what I'm trying to achieve, that I want to achieve an increase in income or an increase in my following. And that is the umbrella under which all my little projects need to go. And like I said, I will actually set 3 outcome goals every quarter. One always has to do with my writing career, one has to do with Heart Breathings and my coaching career, and the third one is usually more focused on routines and my mental health. Underneath that umbrella, or the goal, I will set multiple projects. Now, I've shown 3 examples here on this sheet, but I usually will have 10 to 12 projects every quarter. So a project is something like writing the rough draft of my book, promoting book 1 of my series, or obtaining cover art for my book. Every project is made up of multiple steps. So usually a project is something that's going to take me many days to complete, at least 2 or 3 days, sometimes weeks to complete. But every single project is carefully chosen based on 2 factors. One is how much time I have, and do I have time to actually complete it over the course of the quarter? And 2, does it help me achieve that goal that I set out? So each one of these projects is going to help me publish those books in order to make more income. But then I take it a step further and I break each of those projects down into tasks. And the tasks are what go on the tiny little sticky notes that go up on my Kanban board. So just as an example here, if project 1 is to write the rough draft of the book, I would break that down into small sticky notes like brainstorming the plot, brainstorming my character arc, plotting the book, creating my plan, and then sticky notes for every, say, 10,000 words. And how granular you want to go on these tasks, like you could put a sticky note for every 500 words if you wanted to, or you could just say brainstorm the plot, and that could take up the entire part of your plotting process. It's really up to you how many sticky notes you want. For me, I like to have a lot of sticky notes, so I break mine down into 5,000 word chunks for my board because I like to be moving sticky notes down every single day if possible, but it's really a personal thing. That is the basics of how I actually plan my system. It goes a little bit deeper than that, or a lot deeper than that, depending on how advanced you want to get, but that is sort of the quick and dirty overview. Okay, I've shown this particular graphic before, but just to go over it really quickly, my Kanban board is set up a little bit different than the traditional board. This is sort of my own version of how I like to use it. Traditionally, a Kanban board goes from left to right, but I like to go from top to bottom. So I have set up 3 columns, one for each of my umbrella or outcome goals. So I have goal number 1 is always always on the left here and always has to do with my writing. Goal number 2 is in the middle, and it has to do with heart breathings and my coaching. And then goal 3, like I said, is usually more for my mental health or routines or things like that. Then the top level of this board is the things that I have to do. So at the beginning of every quarter, this is full of all the sticky notes. That's everything I need to do, all those little tasks. The middle section is for what I'm currently doing. So what's currently in progress that I'm working on but isn't finished. And then the done section is down here at the bottom. So as I go through my week as a workflow, everything starts out in the quarter at the top. And then as I choose for what I'm going to do for the week, I will move things down at the beginning of the week. Say every Sunday, I will move down all the tasks I plan to complete for the week. And then as I finish them, they go down to the bottom. The goal, of course, is to try to get everything from up here at the top down to the done section by the end of the quarter. I never have done that, and you'll see that I also did not do that again this quarter, but I don't really need to complete every single thing usually to actually hit the outcome I was trying to hit. So over here, if I had said I wanted to make $10,000 per month, I may be able to look at this board and say, well, I didn't finish everything, but did I make $10,000? Yes, I did. So whatever I got done actually worked to increase my income. And that is a really powerful way to set goals and to make sure that you're moving yourself in the right direction. So that is definitely a quick version of my HB90 method. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at my board for Q4 of 2020 and see how I did. And then we're going to reset it for Q1. Okay, so let's take a look at how things went last quarter. So even though it is January 20th, I have left my Kanban board up the way it was, as I've been working toward my goals already here in Q1 of 2021. But you can basically pretty clearly see on goal number 1, I actually got a ton more writing done than I normally do, and there are a lot of finished sticky notes there. So one of the big things that I did for goal number 1 was I completed most of a book. I wrote over 90,000 words in Q4, and I also got my Spooktacular done, which was a huge, basically month-long giveaway and celebration for my 10-year anniversary. So I did like all of those lighter purple ones that you see. That is a lot of live videos and giveaways and things like that. What I didn't get to was basically The Witch's Door, which is book 2 of my Witch's Key series. So you can see all of those were basically still there. I didn't get The Witch's Door on pre-order. I didn't do new formatting for my Beautiful Demons series. And actually, I just realized that I have some sticky notes on here that I was practicing to see if they would stay up on the board. So I actually got a lot of sticky notes pulled down, but I didn't finish everything. And the majority of what didn't get finished was that second book that I had hoped to write, because I ended up rewriting a book. The other thing that's important to note here is that even though I didn't finish everything, I didn't get a second book done so that I could start the reading of The Witch's Door in Q1. Even though everything didn't get done, I actually met my income and social media goals for goal number 1. Now let's take a look at goal number 2. So as you can see, almost everything got done, and this is a lot of stuff. I really, really enjoyed having the 3 different colors here. So goal number 2 was all about heart breathings, and this goal was basically what it always is, to increase my income and my impact for my Heart Breathings YouTube channel and courses and my planner. And I decided for the first time in Q4 to use different colored sticky notes to represent the different types of tasks that I was doing. So the green one is for my courses, the bright pink is for my YouTube channel, and then all the light pink is more for my administrative type stuff and Facebook groups. So I got a lot of videos done. I managed to get a video up all 30 days in the month of November, even though some of them were kind of repurposed vlogs. I did do a lot of video and edits hours and hours and hours of that in Q4. So that was a big part of what was so busy for me, but it was also really, really rewarding emotionally to show that process. So a lot of pink sticky notes, they're like stuck underneath each other. There's like 60 or so on there that got finished. I also really had the biggest and best enrollment for my HB90 course that I had ever had, and that went really well. So what's left up here? So this one, the vision board workshop, actually did get done, but it didn't get done until Q1. So it's a finished project, but it's not something that got done in Q4. Also, I didn't quite get as many videos out in the month of December as I had planned. And then this entire green stack here was supposed to be a creation of a social media mini course for authors that went with a sort of an extension pack on my planner. It just didn't get done. I didn't have time with everything that was going on. However, even though I didn't finish everything once again on the goals, this second goal, I blew these goals out of the water. I had income goals for Etsy for my courses. I also had YouTube goals for the numbers of subscribers and things like that. So this was a multifaceted goal, basically encompassing everything I wanted to achieve in my career for Heart Breathings. And it really was like a roaring success, a phenomenal success, probably the most successful I have had for my Heart Breathings career probably since I started. And because of these two things lining up throughout the year, my Sarra Cannon career as a writer and my Heart Breathings career as a coach and a YouTuber, I was able to basically create my most successful income year of my entire life in 2020. So even though there were a lot of challenges and a lot of stress, it really paid off in a big way. So part of what I'm wanting to make sure to do in 2021 is hopefully keep that success going without working quite so hard. When it comes to this third goal here, this was a goal to create a daily nurturing score. So part of this goal was to keep up with my basic routines. I had wanted to change my diet and go back to bright line eating, keep up with my time tracking and all my like morning and evening routines, as well as taking a budget boot camp, which I did get partially through, but you can see this stack here is that I didn't quite finish the budget boot camp. This whole stack at the top here is about the pounds that I had wanted to lose. I did not lose weight. In Q4, it was too stressful and I basically ate like crap, and that was not the best. I also didn't get a chance to read as many books as I had hoped, so a lot of these that are left are basically books that didn't get done. But everything else really did well. This goal number 3, though, was to try to bring my daily nurturing score up to an 8 or higher. I did not get past a 6 on average, which is a huge disappointment. I just really ended up putting so much of my time and effort into these 2 goals and the spooktacular and all the giveaways that I did, as well as all of the daily vlogs in November and everything else that was going on and trying to finish my book, that I just simply, I won't say ignored my self-care because I didn't ignore it, but I just wasn't able to perform at the level that I wanted to and hoped that I could. And I will tell you this in terms of things that I've learned. If you ignore your self-care, it doesn't really matter how much money you're making. You're still not going to be able to perform at your best. And whatever momentum you build is not going to be sustainable. So for me, what I know 100% is that even though I owned my income goals, my enrollment goals, my social media goals, because this goal fell apart of taking care of myself, nurturing myself, eating right, sleeping better, all of my routines, because I just didn't keep up with that to the level I wanted, it was not as successful of a quarter. Even though you can look at the numbers and say, wow, that was a huge success, it's got to be balanced. So my word for 2021 is synergy, which has a similar meaning to balance, but it really means all of these things have to be working together. I can't just put all of my attention on one and ignore my mental health. I can't focus only on making money or bringing in new subscribers and ignore my writing. It all has to work together to create something better than the individual parts. So that is why I've chosen the word synergy for 2021. And I'm really going to step back once a week and really take a look at how is this going? How well am I doing with all of these goals? Am I taking care of myself or not? But as you can see, this was the busiest quarter of my life, and there are a lot of moving removed sticky notes. Still some things I didn't quite get done, but overall really proud of what I've done. So now let's reset this board.
Just say a word. Keep on staring at the pavement. God knows who hurt. Ooh, your mind is a ghost town, echoing inside your walls, 5 feet underground now. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts. Nothing's gonna make us spell it out. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. And even if the sky was falling down, you never noticed anyone around. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. But I told you so.
Okay, the board is reset. And again, I am using all different colors based on the time tracking code that I also use for my goals. So as you can see, I have a key where I use these little stickers here to kind of visually delineate between types of tasks that I'm working on. And so I have done my best to take those same colors and use them up on my board. I did this in Q4 also, and I really, really liked it. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold it up like this so you can see it. But goal number 1 is a little bit different than normal. So instead of focusing on any kind of income increase, specific number of income, I'm going to focus more on community and writing habits. So the way I've worded the goal is to grow my community and income by cultivating integrity around my writing routines and energy management. So this is what I'm focusing on. Of course, my projects underneath this are still to write the books, work on my community, get better, but I'm really focusing on writing for 76 out of the 91 days. So 83% of the days of this quarter, I am going to write. And then I'm going to measure my impact by the following goals: bringing my newsletter up to 13,000. I've had some people drop off. We're also going to be cleaning things off. So this might be a bit ambitious because we're going to be losing some people, but we'll see how it goes. My Coven to 3,500, which is my Facebook group, my Instagram to 6,700, and my YouTube channel to 6,000. These are not super ambitious goals for the first quarter, but the main thing that I want to do is to write these 76 of 91 days because I want to get back into a really good habit of writing and showing up on my social media, managing my energy, managing my creativity and things like that. So that's going to play in. Remember, I told you that my word for the year is synergy. This type of energy management and things is really going to play into that goal, like helping each other out. So goals number 1, 2, and 3 are really going to work together this quarter. And I'm going to trust that as long as I do this and I show up for myself, I will have another book coming out this quarter, and then I'll have another one coming out in Q2, and hopefully another one in Q3 and Q4. I'm hoping to put out 4 books this year, and that's going to naturally increase my income. So instead of focusing so much on an income goal, I'm going to focus on my integrity and my word of saying it. Once I say this is what I'm going to write, I'm going to stick to it. And that's really what I want to get back to. Then when it comes to goal number 2, to continue to create quality, helpful content on Heart Breathings to grow my income and impact, I will bring in, and then I've got some goals here for how much I want to make on my courses, how much I want to make on Etsy, and then I want to increase my followers too. And here you can see I've given myself a good, better, best goal. So I do like to, in general, go good, better, and best. I didn't do this with my Sarra Cannon goal because I'm mostly, like I said, going to be spending my energy focused on writing every day. I just am also going to take a look at these metrics. When it comes to my Heart Breathings goal, though, I am not as focused on habits because those habits are already in place, but I'm focused on impact. And a good way to measure impact is through income and followers. So I'm hoping to get my YouTube channel to 42K at least. Instagram up to 8,000 or 9,000 on a best case scenario, newsletter to 12 or 13,000, and the Word Sprints group to 2,500 or all the way up to 3,500 for this quarter. I chose this goal because quality content and service to authors is my higher purpose. I feel like I was put here on this earth to do that and to help people self-publish. So that's my main reason for wanting to produce these courses, wanting to keep going with these YouTube videos. Goal number 3 is a little bit different, but similar type of thing. So instead of an ideal life score, and instead of trying to get myself all the way up to 8, 9, or 10, all the way, in one quarter, I'm going to go for incremental upgrades and kind of meet myself where I am, instead of putting so much pressure on myself. So to nurture myself and my business by improving my health, my systems, and my routines, I will be mindful of my energy by tracking a daily nurture score. My goal is to achieve a daily score of 5, 6, or 7 on average this quarter. And here's the things I'm going to be using to give myself 1 point per thing. So I have 10 possible points I can earn a day. And if I do one of these, I get a point each. So tracking my time is a point, writing is a point, quality family time is a point, bright line eating. Task integrity means basically, did I do what I said I was going to do? If you want to see what this is, how this is going for me, you can come follow me over on Instagram, which is at Heart Breathing's blog. I do on my Instagram stories every day now bookends, where in the morning I say, here's what I'm going to get done. And then in the afternoon, I come back and say, here's what I did. And that's what task integrity is for me. Fun and playtime. So last quarter, I almost burned myself out. So it is super important for me this quarter to really have time for playing, reading, art, and watching TV, and just having fun with the kids and with my husband instead of working so much. Morning routine, my evening routine, 7 hours of sleep, which has been a challenge for me last year because I had a new baby, but hopefully a little bit better this year. And I want to drink 60 ounces of water. My goal for doing this, the reason is the better I feel and the more energy I have and joy, the more I can get done. So there you have it. There are my actual goals for the quarter, and I really think I can do this. I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to put everything down the board, but I think that now that I have Janet helping, now that I have a better idea of how I'm going to really support myself in terms of playtime and not overworking myself, I think I can, get a good handle on what I'm doing for Q1. I also have this calendar here that's done up all pretty for what my deadlines are throughout the quarter. So I've got this. I'm hoping to put out the Witch's Door really at week 1 of Q2. So we'll see how it goes, but hopefully I'll be reading it throughout this quarter if you want to come join us. And that is basically the goal. When it comes to goal number 1 with my writing, I would also like to get to plotting and some words on Vengeful Darkness, which is the next book in my Shadow Demon saga. But you can see that I did not put it up on the board, partly because it doesn't fit and partly because I am not sure if I'm going to get to it, and I'm not going to stress if I can't. I'll start the book in April if I need to, but we'll see kind of how it goes. If I get through the Witch's Door on schedule, then I will move these Post-it notes up to the board when I have room for it and when I feel that it's time to move them up. There are also some of these Post-it notes that I've already completed because even though I didn't get my planning done here until January 20th, I've actually been working on a lot of this stuff. So up here on the writing one, you can see Fate's Surrender edits and getting that published. I've already done that. The book came out on January 15th, but I've also done some of the coffee chats, some of the planning, some of the videos. So I am going to go ahead and move down everything that really deserves to be moved down or that I already completed before I actually had my full plan in place.
Just say a word. Keep on staring at the pavement. God knows who hurt. Your walls 5 feet underground now. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts.
Okay, so that is basically the plan. Hopefully you guys are going to see all of these things go a lot farther down the board as we keep moving forward. I do have a few other things that I use to keep myself on track, so let me show you that real quick. This bulletin board is one of the things. So I am going to do a video coming up about my new release game board strategy. This is something new that I'm trying for 2021. So that has to do with this little calendar up at the top, as well as some laminated book covers that are going to go up there. And it's kind of a fun little strategy that I'm going to be trying out. So I will keep you guys updated and do a separate video on that. So that will be the top half of my giant board here. But I also have these laminated calendars that I got from Erin Condren. They don't have them anymore, but I think I got them like 4 or 5 years ago. And I have not used them until I brought them out for this last quarter last year. And I really like it. So it gives me an overview, not only of like, I've got all the big tasks listed on the board, but this is the big overview of which projects I'm working on any given time, and when I've got videos or coffee chats due, when I've got book releases, when my virtual writing retreats are happening, or my courses. So this gives me an overview of just the quarter. I've also talked about this before, but I have in my quarterly planner, my HB90 planner, I have a sheet that looks similar to this, but instead of saying 30, 60, 90 days, it would say January, February, March. But basically this is a milestones sheet. So I have my 3 goals listed here, and then I have the major projects that I'm working on in the first 30 days, the major projects for the second month, and then the major projects for the third month. And this helps me also see where I've got the granular tasks written down on the sticky notes. This gives me an overview of the major projects that I'm working on. And as I go throughout the quarter, when I finish a project, I will highlight it in gray so that I know it's finished. And then I can tell by the end of the quarter how much of this is finished. And I can also come here at the end of January and be like, okay, how much of this did I get done and how much didn't get done? If you want a free copy of this, this is a Google slide and I will link it for you down below. You just have to click copy so that you're not trying to edit my version, and you can create this for yourself. Another new element to my planning process. I told you guys I'm super visual, and I think I'm going to do a video all about making your work visible, because out of sight, out of mind is very real for me. And the more visible my work is, from my plotting wall, which I'll do a video on coming up again, to my Kanban board, to my calendars up here, and to this yearly calendar. The more visual I can make my work, the more motivated I'm going to stay, and the more on top of my deadlines I will be. So this is something new that I'm trying, but this is basically a yearly calendar that I got from Amazon. This is basically an entire yearly overview that I can see, like, when are my courses? When's the virtual writing retreats? When do I have videos due? When am I doing live videos? So this is something else. If you guys want to see a video on, just let me know down in the comments. Once that is finished, it's actually going to go on the wall here by my desk. And please ignore like all of this craziness, because right after I publish a book and I start working on a new one, I always have to redo and fix my office. So I will be doing a video for you guys next week about how I'm starting my new book and cleaning up this office space. But by then, that big calendar will be here on the wall for me to be able to see right from my desk. That's basically it, you guys. That is my Q1 Kanban board all set up and ready to go. My entire system ready to go. I am late, like I said, but I am so happy to have it done and to be ready to really own this quarter. Like I said, if you want to see more about this type of system and how I'm using the board, I have an entire playlist on this. I've also got more videos coming up on productivity. But before I go real quick, I also wanted to remind you that if you've been interested in my self-publishing course, Publish and Thrive, which is a 5-week intense training on basically how to go from idea to published novel to success and marketing, I would love for you to join us. We open on Monday, so be ready for more information about that next week. If you are not on my mailing list, head down to the link below and sign up for that. And you can join us for Publish and Thrive. My HB90 course is also going to be available in a bundle. So if you want to grab both courses at once, you can save $99, and I'll have more information about that next week. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know how your 2020 went, and if you are planned and ready to go for 2021. If you you were on time or late like me, let me know in the comments. I love you guys so much. We are so close to 40,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe, like this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.